here again this morning with me. Now, today we have a great story, a success, a happy story. Those are my favorite. Anytime crypto world succeeds, you gotta love it. Hey, I met with a guy who's puts a lot of comments down. Wayne is his name. Brilliant man. I met him and his staff, a couple of members of his staff. Hey, Wayne, thanks for the mug. Appreciate it. And we had a great chat. When I meet everybody, I just know we're in the right place because I meet people like him who sees the future of us, all of us, first, right? When we think that way, we think everybody thinks that way. And when you get around the world and you meet more people, we all think that way. It's amazing to me how we just want a better life and a happiness for everybody. And for some reason, there's people at the top that they don't want that. They like control or whatever it is. And I'm not going to go down that road in this video because this is a positive video about crypto. Yes, it's mainly about Bitcoin, but it is about all crypto. There's a leader in the free world, if you will, by the name of Senor Bukele, who is the president of El Salvador. Probably 4 or 5 videos I've done now on this. He is my new hero as far as politics go. I'm not a big fan of any kind of politics, so when a guy comes along like him who really has a vision and he understands crypto the way you and I do, it's just amazing to me to see what he's done. Well, he had a series of posts, and people who follow him on Twitter probably watched a lot of this already, so it's old news to you guys. But he said, hey, isn't it funny that the New York Times and all these other media outlets and Reuters and all these people, they only want to talk about the negative things about what's happened in my country. And then when I paid off my debts, he paid his final nearly $1 billion debt, okay? Interest on his debt, okay? He still has, I think, a year, maybe 2, to where he's going to get rid of all the debt, the principal, but he's no longer paying interest on any of it. I'm splitting hairs here because he's demolished the debt. When he became president, they had ridiculous amounts of debt, and he's just been ticking it off. He also buys a Bitcoin a month, I believe it is, which a Bitcoin a day in his country, which is pretty amazing as well. So he told the IMF, I'm not paying you any interest anymore. So what does that mean to you and I? What does that mean? That means that you and I, your county, your city, your country, your territory, whatever, wherever you live, your politicians have to be told about this. I know they probably already know. But why aren't they on a plane going down there and figuring out what this man's doing and how he's pulling this off? Because let's think about it. Within a year or two, their citizens will not pay any tax. Within a year or two, they will be building schools and roads and jobs for their citizens, and it won't cost any money in taxation. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, he's doing that with Bitcoin. I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin. I'm an XRP guy. I'm an XLM guy, you know. No. About a month ago, his entire parliament got together and they voted in all crypto. Basically, all crypto is legal in El Salvador now. So what does that mean if you're an XRP person? That means that their banking system is going to one day run on an XRP, or the citizens spending the money currently are using a Lightning network, which is great too, but they're going to have the ability to use whatever network they want to use. So if they want to run on the rails of XRP, they can run on the rails of XRP. If they want to run XLM for a cup of coffee, which we know is probably the way XLM is going to be used for the little people, and the XRP is going to be more for the big banking systems and, you know, the IMF and the trade and paying those debts. So when you think about how successful that's become in only less than 2 years, a year and a half, I believe he passed this, you know, legal tender of Bitcoin, and only a month for all crypto. You know how huge that is, guys? Do you know what this means to you and I, and what our vision and what our dream has been about crypto? This means that we have a working prototype. We actually have a working model. We have people that are prospering in every element of his country. I did a video not long ago talking about he added I want to say it was $50 billion in GDP. He was number 3 in the world, okay, behind only Russia. Isn't that interesting too? You know another country that doesn't owe the IMF anything? That's right, Russia. Yeah, think about that for a minute. Anyway, so the debt that he's been able to pay off and the people around him believing in this system is prospering. And all the people, the little people of this country, aren't being heard. I just told you about the media doesn't want to talk about any of the good news coming out of this country. But when you create that much GDP and you start eliminating tax in your country and nobody's hearing about it, ask yourself why your politician isn't going down there on a plane and why they aren't pursuing, hey, what's going on down here, Mr. Bukele? What do you got going on? I want to learn what you're doing. How come your governor of your state or your mayor in your town isn't, why don't they pursue this? It's pretty obvious. The control of the IMF and the BIS and all the rest of these people that control our current monetary system are being exposed. I know this is a tiny little country of only 6 million people, but they are exposing the corrupt system of money. And I don't mean the people are necessarily corrupt. I mean the laws and the rules and the regs and way they've corrupted the power and the control of debt. And they control you by your debt. And that's how they own little countries and people. This is a shining example of how free you and I can all be. And we will all be one day because of this. This is amazing news. I don't want to hear anything in the comments about, oh, well, Bitcoin's old and it's tired, it's for old people, and he did it with Bitcoin. No. He's doing this with all coins, okay? I want you to understand what we're doing. He is mining Bitcoin. He has created a bond, okay? And the bond is massive, and it's going to create freedom for his people and many people around the world. And if you have any interest at all, look into, okay, what he has done, okay? It's amazing in a short period of time. I need to get into one other thing real quick. Somebody sent me a link and I listened to it, and don't panic about this, guys. This is not going to be an issue in the future. And basically it was the SWIFT system is shutting off crypto trading. They may do that. And I want you to understand why that doesn't matter to you and I. It may affect your bank, but you and I will be able to work outside of our banks very soon. Okay, this is coming. I know it's coming. I can't express to you the thousands of ways that I know that this is happening in the background. But let's remember, SWIFT shut off, 8 different countries in the last year. Well, the Russian ruble is worth more today than it was prior to them shutting it off. Just think about that. The SWIFT system is an old, archaic communication system. It is not what XRP is, which is a transfer of money. The XRP transfers actually digits and smart contracts in the future, as we know, where SWIFT system is simply a communication system. All it is, it doesn't move money. I know most people have a complete misnomer about this whole thing. SWIFT simply means, oh, I'll pick up the phone because that member's of SWIFT. My bank can communicate with that bank because of we are both members of SWIFT. That's all it is. It's not, the still is up to the bank to move the money from that bank to the other bank, and it doesn't do it on a SWIFT wire, okay? It's so archaic and so old, and the fact that they think that they're going to control your life with it is just not accurate, okay? Don't be in fear of that. That's nothing to fear. We are going to blow right by that whole archaic dinosaur of a SWIFT system. So whenever you hear people put fear out there about stuff like that, I want you to try and find the positive first. Okay, let's try and look for some information about what that creates in a positive sense for us as crypto holders and transactions in the future between all of us, and being able to pay our bills and being able to buy more crypto and exchange them through different exchanges. All of this negative, and the more they expose themselves negatively, the better it is for you and I, because we're going to weed all that problem out. All right? We are going to see the solution around the problem. And the more they expose themselves, the more we're going to succeed in the future new systems in which you and I are going to live on. And the market, I usually talk about market, but the market's been going up lately, and that's really good news. It is taking a little dive as of yesterday and today. I don't know when you're watching this video, but the good news is you don't want it to go straight up, you don't want it to go straight down. So where we're at right now is good. I think it's strong, I think it's steady, and I think that's for the economy in which we're in right now. It's really holding its own really well, and that's all good news for us, guys. So hang in there. Nothing but great news with all the El Salvador stuff, and I know you haven't heard about it anywhere else, but you're hearing about it here because I like to look for leaders who succeed and leaders who think about his people first. And this is just more evidence of exactly that. And it's not going to be long, and those people will be tax-free. And this could happen in your community as well, and there's no reason why it can't. And I don't understand why our country is our country being America, the US, why they are dragging their feet on regulations, and I don't like them, as you know from previous videos, but telling us and going forward with the future of this technology and showing us and helping us excel for the little man. And it's very difficult to understand other than nefarious reasons. It's becoming obvious to me and you and everyone else that they have an agenda against this, and they won't succeed. They can't succeed because technology always thrives and it always goes forward for the betterment of all mankind, because mankind is a creator and the well-being of this planet is always going forward, and they are trying to slow or stop progress of well-being, and they will always get crushed in doing so. All right, guys, hope the chickens weren't too loud, and hope you guys got something out of this video. It's a great day. There is a success. We've seen it. We know how it's done. We've watched their plan, and we're now seeing it succeed. And that's a wonderful thing. All right, guys, hope you got something out of that. And Wayne, thanks for the mug, buddy. And with that, I'm out, guys. Yeah, so I'm driving down the road, and I come to a stoplight. And there's this old guy, I don't know, probably 80, right? And he looks over at me, and it looks like Elvis. And then I look at his car. It's a Cadillac. He's in a convertible Cadillac. He's the right age. It had to be Elvis. I'm just telling you, I saw Elvis. I know what you're thinking. I'm just telling you I did. So we'll just leave it at that.